Hi Pisces! Welcome to your mid-April 2019 astrology and tarot reading. I hope you're all doing really well. Welcome back to my regular subscribers, and if you're new here, please subscribe and join the Reading the Signs family. So Pisces, Jupiter, your traditional ruler, might I add. We forget that often, but Jupiter was your traditional ruler, your co-ruler, along with Sagittarius. And Jupiter is retrograding in your 10th house of reputation and ambition. Now, Jupiter in your 10th house of reputation and ambition is incredibly prosperous. It's an incredible time to go through. It can bring you great luck, great advancement, great abundance in your career. You may achieve fame. Do you know a lot of people with Jupiter in the 10th house in their natal chart are the most famous? If you go onto Astro Theme and look it up, you'll see people that are actually famous just for being famous. You know, Kim Kardashian is the main poster child of a Jupiter in 10th person. And the aspect, the transit, is not dissimilar. So many Pisces may achieve high levels of fame and success during this cycle, provided that's what they want, of course. But whatever your career, it doesn't necessarily have to be famous in the sense of global notoriety. It can actually mean being famous in your workplace, being the person everyone looks to, talks about, is interested in, has this really jovial, excited, confident attitude about themselves. But Jupiter is retrograding here. So while luck is prevalent and your ambition is strong, it's a great time to reevaluate what it is that you want in the direction you're going. Because there's no point you having this planet of luck and abundance in your career sector if you don't know what you want. Because then how do you make it happen? Jupiter isn't going to decide for you. That's not Jupiter's job. That's yours. And with this retrograde season, you can go back to the books. You can decide to try an internship or a workshop, or take a vacation, take a holiday, and take time to relax. And maybe in the relaxation of everything, you'll figure out what your soul is speaking to. What you touch with Jupiter in your career sector is going to turn to gold, provided that your head and your heart are aligned with your ambition, because you're a sensitive, soul-seeking sign, and you need to make sure that it's speaking to your purpose, your sense of purpose. Now, speaking of the sensitivity and the depth, the full moon in Libra is occurring in your 8th house. This may make you slightly Scorpiophonic, you may notice, because this is the second moon in Libra. And in the 8th house arena, Scorpiophonic tendencies can come out. You know, you may feel more jealous or possessive. Do reconsider where you were on the 20th of March with that supermoon in Libra in the 1st degree, because Mercury was retrograde in your sign, of course, and we're coming out of the shadow period of that since it went direct. But your partnerships and your intimacy, your most intimate relationships, are all sort of illuminated in a very intense way. And with the Venus-Neptune conjunction earlier on in the month, it's kind of hard to be 100% certain if somebody is your soulmate or you're just idealizing them. That is actually a common Pisces problem. But the stars in general have been saying, listen to your intuition, listen to your heart. Is this person the one? Because you could just as easily be trying to cast this dark light over them, feeling like they're probably going to hurt me the way everyone else has, or they might, jealousy comes up with this influence as well. So I'm not saying you've been naive, because I actually think in many Pisceans perspectives and the water signs in general, the Mercury Pisces retrograde and then the Neptune Venus conjunction didn't necessarily make you as rosy glowed as everyone predicted. It may actually have made you a bit more paranoid. A fog is a fog, okay? This also indicates property matters. You may change location of your home. Your joint partnerships financially come under review under this full moon too. You might see something or hear something and have to question it or look it up or figure it out. It is very transformative, the 8th house. So the last month or so, Pisces, it's kind of been emotional for you in many ways, and that Venus in your sign is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful aspect and you've had a lot of joy there. But at the same time, there are these little doubts that are kind of crumbly and leaving little crumbs everywhere, and you're sort of trying to hoover them up as you work through them. Now, Allow yourself to be honest and vulnerable. And if you're in an intimate relationship, please show your hand. Okay, please be honest with the person. Please be authentic. Because in this world where we're so often taught to be everyone but ourselves, and we're taught to present in our relationships as unemotional, because people think that's what partnerships, people are told that's what the opposite sex wants. They want you to be aloof. Or even in same-sex relationships, you're taught to be aloof so that you're more appealing. What's appealing about that to a water sign? Nothing. Being open and being vulnerable and knowing you can trust the person and live a life with them and express your feelings and work through things, and that your feelings matter, is important. So if you're in a relationship and they think you're too emotional and they think you're too this, that, or whatever, maybe that's not right for you. But I don't see that happening for a lot of Pisces. I see this more to be a time where you can be vulnerable about what it is that you want, what it is that you seek in your romantic relationships. And funnily enough, it may come out over the full moon, but a couple of days later, the sun's moving into Taurus on the 20th, and it conjuncts Uranus, the annual Sun-Uranus conjunction. It may bring up a lot of interesting conversations for you. The thing about it is that there's a chance that it won't matter as much in a couple of days. Do you know what I'm saying? This is happening in your communication sector, so you might get a call out of the blue. People might be really, really, really blowing up your phone under this conjunction, is what I kind of see. People sending you friend requests, messages, text messages, phone calls, all this different stuff happening around there. And, you might hear from somebody out of the blue and think, what do they want? They must want something really significant to be messaging me. And then a couple of days later, they might just drop off the radar. You might not hear from them again. So don't invest too much in the conversations that come up from unexpected sources, because that's what Uranus is. It's kind of rebellious and carefree and free-spirited and stuff. And so the conversations that might come at you might not necessarily lead to something. Just bear that in mind. But I do feel as though, Pisces, a lot of different perspectives may be coming at you, and a lot of people might be seeking your advice too. Because Capricorn retrogrades, both Saturn and Pluto. Pluto being the first one on the 24th to go retrograde in Capricorn, and then Saturn following 4 days later in retrograde motion. Capricorn is your sign, your house of friendships. And when it's retrograding, you may have a lot of people contacting you. Old friends. Your friendships may come under very strong observation, okay, Pisces? So you might have to consider who's in your circle and what aspects and influences they have on your life, if it's for better, if it's for worse. And I really do get the impression that when we lead up to a full moon in Capricorn in July, you might have cast out a few friends who didn't have your best interests at heart or who were dragging you down, okay? So that sounds intense, I know, but it's a reevaluation. We all go through periods in life where we have to sort of sort through and see if we've outgrown certain relationships because they are not in our best interests. If they're hurting you or harming you in some way, Saturn won't let them stay, okay? That's kind of the idea here. Pisces is my ascendant, and since Saturn went into Capricorn, I've really felt like my list of friends has become so small. Like deep, meaningful connection friends. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm sifting through these like trivial relationships, and I just don't really entertain them anymore. I do think Pisces can sometimes be a sign that if you have it very close in your chart, you can be too accepting and too understanding at times. And I'm not saying the world doesn't need that, because it does, because some people do need that love and acceptance, but the ones that take advantage of it aren't necessarily worth your time. So that being said, the Sun and Taurus Uranus conjunction is going to be interesting. There's going to be calls coming in out of the blue, emails. That might be a very particularly busy day for you, Pisces. But Taurus season's great. I love Taurus season. The spring is occurring for those of us in the northern hemisphere. It's a great time for enjoying life more. Great time for social connections. Making new friends, actually, is well aspected here. Making new connections. Bonding time with your siblings. Local community matters. You might have to go home to vote, for example. But these are all sort of third house indications. Okay, so see what we've got for Pisces. Didn't actually see those. Okay, so Pisces. King of Wands, Five of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, I can't count, Ace of Wands, and the Hierophant. Three of Pentacles. Let's see if I can move this here for you, Pisces. Okay. And I'll set that down. I like to look at the images. We also have the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck by Kim Kranz here, so stay tuned for that because I'm going to add those cards on in this reading too. So Pisces, as so many times you see Pisces people with fire signs, but this can also represent your career because we were talking about Jupiter being in your career sector. Okay, so bear that in mind. It doesn't have to be a fire sign. If it is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, it could be their moon sign or their rising sign. You're headed towards solidifying some kind of relationship or business venture. Something is becoming solidified. Something is becoming really very stable, really very solid, and really very important in your life, Pisces. So what is it? I think for many of you, it's kind of as though everybody's seeking your advice as well. The Hierophant's very much the guy that you go to for advice. He's all-knowing, he's all-seeing, and he has very strong wisdom. He has very strong beliefs. He has very strong perspectives. That song just came into my head. My lover's got no money, he's got a strong beliefs. Do you know that song? Na 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 na. Anyway, that's just coming to my head now because I've been thinking about this. I wonder, does that apply to somebody somewhere? But you've been working on something quite solid. The Eight of Pentacles occurs whenever you have been patiently working at something, working away at it, waiting to see the results, but not being fixated on the outcome. It's more about putting in the quality. You know, it's not trying to look too far forward. It's trying to figure out what you can do now, what you can do in the moment. It's mindfulness. Doing what you do and not caring what anybody else is thinking. You're very, very worried about missing something. Either missing an opportunity or missing a trick. And a lot of you, from what I can see with the Five of Cups in the middle, have actually committed yourself to a journey of bettering yourself, of positive thinking. A lot of you have probably come into the law of attraction, and I think for a lot of you, you're probably quite early on in it, because the Ace of Wands in the challenge is almost as though you can't quite put the word out there about what it is that you want to do, or you can't quite express what it is that you want to say. That is very important because the Sun Taurus conjunct Jupiter in Taurus aspect may make you have a bit of word vomit if you keep holding this all in, and then it'll suddenly all come out. I like the Hierophant for you, Pisces, because you are a sign that finds it quite hard to commit to a specific journey and facts and things like that without getting taken off track by something or someone. You know, a Pisces person can be all business, and then somebody new comes in and you fall in love with them instantly, and then you can sort of get into the dreamy, lovely place. But this for you is kind of like you're tired of the wishy-washy aspect that can come from Neptune. I mean, your ruler's in your sign. And that Venus-Neptune conjunction, while it was beautiful in many ways, it was also kind of foggy. And you kind of want something more solid. Going into Taurus season, Earth energy is so balancing for you because you have this ability to learn how to express your needs through Taurus season if you're not good at it before, especially with Uranus there. Your conversations are important, and I actually think you're probably going to be signing something very concrete if it's business. And if you're in a relationship, particularly if it's with a fire sign, there's an official kind of a bond or movement or going forward with this person. You know, the Three of Pentacles is sort of like a church setting. It's kind of like the formalities are getting ticked off. You know, you're doing things that make a step in this relationship, and then another step, and then another step. It's kind of like going by the book is one way that I see this. And you're really patient about it. Like, you're getting into the vibe of being patient. And I think it's because you trust this person, this King of Wands. The King of Wands is somebody who's very enthusiastic, very active. They mean well, okay? I know that the Knight of Wands is an absolute chancer. Like, he just comes in and he goes off, takes your heart, breaks it, and chucks himself off into the desert. And that's him. He's kind of rides off on his horse thinking he's a great lad when really he doesn't know anything. No disrespect to Knight of Wands, but he's not the king, right? The King of Wands knows what he wants. He's had his Knight of Wands days. He's probably kind of embarrassed about them. He wouldn't admit that. But whoever the King of Wands is in your life is someone who's a straight shooter. They're ambitious, they're honest, and this person in particular is willing to give you a Hierophant moment. So whether or not this is the person you marry, that could be. We'll draw a couple more cards around it and see. It's definitely somebody that you want to commit to, and it's somebody where there's an element of respect. It's somebody who listens to you. Bear in mind, Venus is in your sign until the 20th. People love you. Like, people think you are the absolute bee's knees. People are thinking, Pisces, they've got it going on. That kind of vibe. You know, Venus in your sign just makes you an absolute dynamo. So if someone's willing to commit to you during this season, it's because they mean it. It's actually not just because they're doing it for alternative reasons, you know, whatever that could be. There's a problem, though, in the sense that you're not sure that they're the one, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. See, around the full moon in Libra, you'll know how you feel about this person. 8th house energy, when you channel it, it's very intense. And the Ace of Wands to me in a challenge position could mean jealousy. And that's an 8th house attribute. It's possessiveness, it's jealousy. You know, having such an intense spark that you don't want anybody else to be let in on it. The 8th house is kind of the realm of soulmates. So if you're wondering if this person is your person, you've had 2 full moons to discover that. First time Mercury was retrograding in your sign, I get why you wouldn't be sure. This time, you'll know. 10 of Pentacles, they're probably, yeah. Do one more. The 5 of Wands. Okay. A little bit of a family feud over something. You're fighting it anyway, but to be honest, Pisces, if there's a fire sign that's recently come into your life, or you're in a relationship with a fire sign, or a fire sign does come into your life in April, May, they mean business. Like, they're thinking long term. Hierophant and the 10 of Pentacles is marriage, whether it be legal or whether it be spiritual, whatever, you know, because you can be as committed to somebody without the legal bit. But it is deciding that whatever happens, this person's in it with you. Maybe you don't find them as conventionally attractive as the people you've gone for before. The Ace of Wands can indicate that. But there seems to be somebody coming in here who's in it for the long haul. I also see that other people are as interested in you as they are, but not necessarily giving you that level. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's other people that are, these guys are thinking, oh, Pisces, like, I have to be in their head. I have to get into Pisces' head. I have to have their attention. That can be friends as well. They can be thinking, you're going off with this person, I need your attention too. Or it can be family. A lot of people are competing for your attention. A lot of people are competing for your knowledge, for your wisdom. I really feel like there's a lot of people's energies sort of coming in here, and you're just working on you. You are being who you need to be. And the reason that you can do it, Pisces, with this person, is because you can trust them. If you're in a relationship where you don't trust somebody, it derails you in every other area. I don't know if you've noticed that, but you start losing focus at your job, you start losing focus on the mundane tasks because your mind and your heart are frazzled and occupied trying to intuit what messages you get about this person that you're with. But you're with somebody solid, so you don't have to overthink it all the time. Or this person's coming in for you. I know that if you're completely single, you're probably looking at this and thinking this isn't for me. Do a look at your moon and your rising sign as well, especially your moon, because the full moon in Libra is very significant and sometimes it talks to your moon the most. So even if you are single, I sort of get the vibe that, it could be a Taurus, but I do get the vibe that Taurus season brings you great financial success in many ways because you've been working really hard. Whatever it is that you've committed to bettering yourself for, Pisces, is something that shows fruit in mid-April. Like if you've been working on making yourself more confident, you have an opportunity to show that confidence. If you've been working on yourself, unicorn. Oh, you're a unicorn. Right. I love this. Unicorn. Such a Pisces type energy. Unicorn. Okay. Let's investigate what the unicorn means. So the unicorn is one of the, the most spiritual cards of this new deck that I'm trying. And I haven't got you looking at it yet, so I'm going to read this to you. This is reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It is difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Okay, so I sort of get the impression, Pisces, maybe the problem, is that you think this person is too good to be true. Perhaps long, long ago, the mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intention comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes and no and maybe. Is it a female? Is it a male? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up. To curiosity about the higher self and the divine, it is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there's something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experience. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn and you have begun your quest for answers. You're reconnecting, Pisces. The Hierophant's actually quite spiritual. Reconnecting with your belief system and sort of getting this intense perspective. I'm going to draw one more of this and I'm going to draw one more of this because it just feels sort of High Priestess. There we go. Spirituality, connecting to your intuition, connecting to your higher power. You are the High Priestess, feeling as though you are connected to something bigger. If you've questions about this King of Wands, you will know. If you think this romance is too good to be true, you'll realize that it's just a lack of faith. The universe will deliver what you ask for, what you set your intention to. The Otter. Oh my God, I love the Otter. Oh, he's all about having fun and enjoying himself. This is Mr. King of Wands. This is a person that gives you fun. They wake you up. They make you excited. I'll read you more about the Otter. I can't remember what element the water is. Let me see. The Otter is water. Well, that rhymes, so that makes sense. The Otter is water. So the Otter is unobstructed joy, playfulness, and contentment, okay? Perhaps the most joyous creature within the deck. He represents absolute bliss. See, this isn't too good to be true. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child, available to us at any age, giddiness and reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more Otter energy. What would life look like? What would it bring you there? The Otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe the Five of Wands is a bunch of people having banter at a party, a wedding, a celebration, a union, something. When in balance, full of love, needs nothing. Now, I did say to you, Pisces, that because you're with this person and you're happy, you don't need to overthink. You don't need to ask for these things because you can trust. When out of balance, gloomy, sighs, and makes silly excuses. Don't pick on this person for silly things just because you have old fears. To bring into balance, dance, party, or celebration. So celebrate this commitment, this union, whatever it is, Pisces. It looks beautiful, and yes, it is real. Okay, I know you're looking at the unicorn. You're maybe thinking this person's a unicorn. They're just so much enthusiasm for life, but that doesn't deduct from the fact that they're loyal. People have this opinion that fun people are disloyal. That's the Knight of Wands. This is a king. Okay, Pisces. So I think you're really going to enjoy any unions you make mid-April. Any commitment steps that you take are going to pay off. Don't cause silly fights just because you have past insecurities. There's one thing about a King of Wands personality. They don't like you to pull from the past if the experience wasn't with them. This full moon is kind of jealous for you, and it might be jealous for them, so don't pick at it. Like, don't make them jealous about somebody in the past, even if you're just saying, they hurt me. They'll think you still care. Okay? Connect with this person in the here and now and enjoy them. Have fun with them. It's exciting. It's fun with payoff. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed that reading, Pisces. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next set of readings, and have a wonderful rest of April. Taurus season's going to be exciting. Okay, guys? Take care. Bye.